Hey my fellow television goers. Well, we are already halfway through the TV season this year, which is hard to believe. Man, time really flies. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering how your television shows are doing, and if your shows might be back next year. Well, it's still too early to know the fate for sure of many of the good shows on TV, but I can offer some predictions based on either ratings performance, how old the show is, and what network the show is on, and in truth, how good the show really is. Okay, I can't cover every show out there, that would take forever, but I'm going to cover in this report all the crucial shows you guys probably watch, and here's a complete list of what I'm covering. Also, this is going to be in 3 parts because this is a long discussion piece. So shows from Monday and Tuesday will be in part 1, shows from Wednesday and Thursday will be in part 2, and shows from Friday and Sunday will be in part 3. Okay, I'm going to do this Monday to Sunday, and the order will be 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on each night, and the order of the shows will be by network: Fox, ABC, NBC, and CBS. Let's start with Monday night. Fox released a new show this year called Gotham, which is basically a prequel series from when Bruce Wayne is a kid. So Batman does not appear. Okay, I admit I have been forgetting to check out the series, but from the trailers, it looked very promising, and it has gotten good reviews so far. However, the ratings are a bit of a disappointment, technically. The series premiered with 8.21 million viewers, which is a good start. But unfortunately, the ratings fell to around 6 million viewers, unfortunately. And considering in this time slot there is not much competition, this is not great. But taking DVR numbers into account, the series is actually averaging around 10 million viewers thanks to strong DVR numbers. But the truth is, TV networks don't make as much money from advertisements off DVR numbers as they do with the main broadcast. As of right now, Gotham is doing okay, but not great. However, as long as DVR numbers hold, if the main ratings improve at least a bit, I'd say the series has a pretty good shot at getting a second season. Okay, let's move on to 9 p.m. on Mondays, and take a look at Fox's other gem, Sleepy Hollow. I really liked Sleepy Hollow, but I admit I haven't really been watching it this year. But the series is still getting good reviews. Okay, the second season premiere of Sleepy Hollow had 5.51 million viewers for its premiere, which is not very good. But taking DVR numbers into account, the premiere actually had 9 million viewers, which is not bad. But unfortunately, the season so far has been averaging only around 4.5 million viewers, which is actually pretty bad. But taking DVR numbers into account, the series is actually averaging around 7 million viewers. But even though Fox is showing mercy to certain shows, I have to admit, given the ratings decline, unless the ratings improve, Sleepy Hollow might not get a third season even if it's a fan favorite. And if it does get a third season, it might be a short season just to give the fan base closure. Okay, time to move on to 10 p.m. for the huge showdown this season. Okay, I'm going to start with ABC's Castle. Castle started its 7th season with 10.45 million viewers, and given how it was up against 2 other powerhouse shows, the premiere ratings were very good, and a testament to Castle's strength. The season overall has been really good, and the ratings this year have been a little lower than season 6, but given the stiff competition, the series is still holding up well, and I would say the chances for an 8th season are very good. Okay, time for the very powerful The Blacklist. The Blacklist took TV by storm last year, and this year has been no different. The second season premiere of The Blacklist had 12.55 million viewers, and the season overall has been averaging just under 10 million viewers. However, taking the powerful DVR numbers into account, the second season has actually been averaging around 16 million viewers. The second season overall has been pretty good, but from the sounds of things, it is about to get 10 times better. The upcoming Super Bowl episode looks like it's going to be outstanding, and after that, The series is actually moving to Thursdays at 9 p.m. and I feel the series should be able to handle the move to a new night very well, and I'd say the chances for a third season are 100%, no matter what. Okay, let's take a look at NCIS Los Angeles. Okay, NCIS Los Angeles has always been a strong series, but this year CBS did a very questionable move and moved the series from Tuesdays at 9 p.m. so they could bring in the new NCIS New Orleans spin-off and put NCIS Los Angeles at risk by moving it to Monday night at 10 p.m. Okay, I knew this was going to be a bad move, and I mentioned this in an earlier video, that NCIS Los Angeles was going to be heavily trashed by Castle and the Blacklist, which were on at the same time, and I was right on the money because the premiere ratings for the 6th season were 9.48 million viewers. Yeah, you heard me right. 9.48 million viewers. That is almost a 7 million viewership drop in ratings. Ouch. That's not good. The reason why this happened is simple. The fans are mad. Think about it. Castle and the Blacklist managed to coexist last year just fine, mainly because chances are both audiences watched both series by either through time shifting or by DVR. But then CBS takes NCIS Los Angeles and puts it in that time slot. They were trying to force the fan base to abandon two other fan favorite shows to watch theirs. Yeah, well, that didn't work out. NCIS Los Angeles got creamed. However, the series is still averaging around 9 million viewers, and given the competition it is up against, that's not bad. Now, the Blacklist has relocated to a new time slot starting early February, so competition for NCIS Los Angeles won't be as bad, and the ratings will likely improve. At this point, I highly doubt NCIS Los Angeles will be cancelled. If CBS is dumb enough to do that, the fan backlash would be insane. And that action would also damage NCIS and its new spin-off, and I guarantee every other network would swoop in to save NCIS Los Angeles if it were to be cancelled. Okay, let's move on to Tuesdays at 8 p.m. The only show I'm covering in this time period is NCIS because I don't really know anything else about the other shows airing at that same time, so I'm only focusing on NCIS. Okay, NCIS had suffered a major setback last year when Cody DePablo left NCIS, and the exact reason why she left has never been revealed, but it caused major problems for the series, mainly the Tiva relationship, which many fans really watched the show for, was now gone, and that loss had a huge impact on the show, so much so that the ratings had dropped by over 3 million viewers by the season's end, meaning a lot of fans stopped watching NCIS. I'm also ashamed to admit that I kind of moved away from the series, especially when hearing a new female character was going to replace Cody DePablo so quickly. However, I have had the opportunity to see the new character in action, and I admit she is doing a really good job. At this point, NCIS has been weakened. The season 12 premiere was 18.23 million viewers, which is almost a 2 million drop from the season 11 premiere. And the season has been averaging 17.5 million viewers, which is definitely lower than season 11. But before you start panicking, I am happy to report that the DVR numbers are very good, and the season is actually averaging around 21 million viewers. Right now, NCIS has been weakened, but the series has proven it can survive even extremely big losses. As long as the key cast remains with the series, I don't think we have to worry about NCIS being cancelled anytime soon. Okay, moving on to 9 p.m. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a really interesting show that got a lot of hype last year, and while I haven't watched the series very much, I know it is a good show. The season 1 premiere enjoyed very high ratings with 12.12 million viewers, but unfortunately, by the end of the first season, the series ratings had dropped to 5.45 million viewers, which was not good. But the series was given a second season. I was hoping this series might get better ratings this year since CBS decided to make their fans angry and move NCIS Los Angeles to Mondays so they could air the new NCIS New Orleans series. But unfortunately, that has not been the case. The Season 2 premiere only had 5.98 million viewers, which is an insane drop from the Season 1 premiere. But adding in DVR numbers, the Season 2 premiere actually had 9.66 million viewers, which is not bad. The season overall has been only averaging around 4.5 million viewers, which is unfortunate and not good at all. But with DVR numbers, the season has been averaging around 7.5 million viewers, which is not bad. As much as I hate to say this, considering how good this show is, even with strong DVR numbers, unless the ratings start to improve ASAP, there is a likelihood ABC will have little choice but to cancel Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which in my opinion would be a damn shame, but unless the ratings improve or at least stabilize, chances are the show could get canceled, but there's also a fair chance that a third season could be ordered. NCIS New Orleans is the newest spin-off in the NCIS series, and this series has had a bit of a rocky start. First, CBS chose not to make the other potential NCIS spin-off, NCIS Red, which frankly, myself and a lot of the fanbase thought was going to be a pretty good series, and CBS decided to take NCIS Los Angeles, which us as the fanbase love, and moved it to Mondays at 10 p.m., where two other very strong shows are located, trying to force us as the fanbase to choose between NCIS Los Angeles and the other two excellent shows, and needless to say, the fans are angry. So NCIS New Orleans was not getting the warmest reception, and I truthfully haven't looked at the series myself because of CBS moving NCIS Los Angeles to Mondays. Okay, the series premiere drew in an impressive 17.22 million viewers, but almost every episode since the premiere, the ratings have been slowly falling, and the winter final was 14.14 million viewers. Now, based on the series ratings so far, I'd say a second season is a safe bet. But the biggest question is, will the ratings rebound or continue to fall? That is a good question. And it's a difficult one to answer based on the controversy around this series. In the end, the show seems to have a good lineup of cast members, and the series does obviously have potential. But given how angry us as the fanbase of NCIS Los Angeles are about our show being moved to Mondays at 10 p.m., just so this series could air in that time slot, the long-term future of this series is a question mark, and the impact of the angry fans will determine this show's long-term future. Okay, let's move on to 10 p.m. Okay, Chicago Fire has proven itself to be a very good series, and the Season 2 final left every one of us fans in shock, wondering if our favorite characters would still be alive in the Season 3 premiere. Now, I already did a video on this. In the Season 3 premiere, it is revealed that the character Leslie Shea, portrayed by Lauren German, died in the warehouse explosion. Okay, because I already did a video on this, I'm only going to give you the Clip Notes version. The fan backlash and anger to this is insane, and rightfully so. Killing off Lauren German's character was the absolute worst choice Chicago Fire's producers could have made, and clearly the fanbase agrees. Leslie Shea was one of the four main characters that made up the bulk of Chicago Fire's story, and she was a major fan favorite. Killing her character off was a horrible decision, and the fans as well as industry experts agree. For the first few episodes we saw some great performances from the cast, which was to be expected, but those strong performances seem to have dried up, and while some new stories were created to add more to the story, but at this point it seems to be obvious the writers and producers seem to be struggling trying to come up with new stories, and are reusing conflicts and other recycled stuff, just to try and keep tension in the show's overall story, and it's obvious. The Season 3 premiere might have had the best premiere ratings the series has ever had, but overall the ratings have been in a free fall, with the exception of a major crossover event, which boosted them back up, but only for that episode. At this point, Chicago Fire is in trouble. The series' creativity, which made it such an awesome show, seems to be falling apart, and the falling ratings clearly show that. And even taking the impressive DVR numbers into account, the series is in trouble. Chicago Fire is an expensive show to produce, and while its ratings right now might be viable enough for NBC to keep it going, it's very clear the series' future has been drastically reduced. Before the Season 3 premiere, I figured we might get 10 seasons out of Chicago Fire based on how strong a series it was, but since the Season 3 premiere, I have to be plainly honest. Chicago Fire might not make it beyond 5 years, based on what's happening to the show. At this point, the only way to save Chicago Fire is to bring Lauren German and her character Leslie Shea back from the grave, which I feel is possible, and the writers need to take a hard look at the first 2 seasons to figure out what made their show so great, and how to get the show back to that greatness. Unless these measures are taken, Chicago Fire's future might be a short one. Person of Interest is a really interesting show that has managed to be a really good success despite some major competition, and I admit I haven't watched the series that much, but I know it's a good show. Now unfortunately the ratings this year have started to go down. The Season 4 premiere had 10.58 million viewers, which is not bad, and the season overall has been averaging around 9.5 million viewers. The series is a really interesting one, and it has a good fan base, and considering how many of CBS's shows are not doing very well in the ratings, I'd say it's pretty unlikely Person of Interest will get cancelled this year. The series will very likely get a 5th season,